All right, thanks, guys. We improved our record yesterday to 7-1-1 in our last 9 daily double picks. We're also 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays. Both of those records on patreon.com/Brock Page. We do daily plays on that site. Memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. All right, guys, we got ourselves a nice little slate of Major League Baseball action here today. Happy Thursday to you. Let's go ahead and dive into it, beginning with the Brewers taking on the Reds, 12:35 Eastern first pitch in Cincinnati. The Brewers are minus 150, total at 9. We have Chase Anderson for the Brewers, Luis Castillo for the Reds. Castillo's 15-7 with a 3.25 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. He's also struck out 218 batters. Now Chase Anderson on the other side for Milwaukee comes into this game with a 4.30 ERA. Cincinnati is 8th in runs allowed, 3rd in hits allowed. They're also 4th in striking batters out. Now the Brewers on the other side, they are 25th in offensive strikeouts, 25th in walks allowed on the road, 28th in hits allowed on the road. And if you want to talk about a hangover game, now we didn't fall for that yesterday with that Nationals-Phillies pick. A lot of folks said the Nationals would be hungover. They might have been, but the game was later in the day. It was in the evening. I wasn't worried about no hangover. The better team won. Now, in this case, the Brewers might have a bit of a hangover in Cincinnati with a 12:35 Eastern first pitch. Now, total-wise, Cincy is 50-30 to the under at the Great American Ballpark. I'm going to lean Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Twins, Tigers, 110 Detroit. The Twins are minus 200, total 9.5. No confirmed probable for Minnesota. It looks like it might be Devin Smeltzer on the bump for them today. We do have Jordan Zimmerman on the other side for the Tigers. Zimmerman just 1-12 on the year, 6.85 ERA, 1.50 WHIP. Detroit is the worst team in Major League Baseball. Terrible record. They were over 100 losses for a while now. They've also dropped 6 out of their last 7 at home, taking on the Twins. Now, Minnesota, they already clinched their division. We already know that. They're also pretty good away from home this year. 52-25 when traveling. Winners in 16 out of their last 19 on the road as well. Now, when it comes to the total, Minnesota's 44-33 to the over on the road. I'm going to lean Twins minus 1.5 and the over 9.5. Next game, Red Sox, Rangers, 2:05 Arlington, Texas. This game currently off the board, and as a matter of fact, we have a bunch of games off the board today. Only a few games actually with lines posted yet. But anyway, we have Boston at Texas, 2:05 Eastern first pitch in Arlington. Like I said, this game's currently off the board, although we do have Mike Minor confirmed for the Rangers. Now, on the Boston side, it's either going to be Brian Johnson or Travis Lakins. That's what all the sources are reporting right now. Regardless, Texas is 6-4 in their last 10. Mike Minor starts. They're also 42-35 at home, 4th in home scoring, 7th in home hits. Boston, on the other side, just 4-5 in their last 9. They are 20th in runs allowed on average per game, 28th in walks allowed. I'm going to lean Rangers winning this one outright for some money line cash. And before we, go ahead and move on, I just want to take a quick timeout and once again welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's Major League Baseball action. But before we proceed to give you what you need, just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website, patreon.com/Brock Page, where we do daily plays on that site. We have a bunch of different memberships and packages, and they begin at just $1.99 per month. Now check this out here, guys. We are 7-1-1 in our last 9 daily double picks. That's one of the memberships on that site. We're also 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays. That's actually 11-3-1 for the year in college football. That's nearly 80%. Now, folks that are subscribed to that package, they've been absolutely killing it, as we are once again 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays. That membership is just $14.99 a month. That's imperative information for your life if you're a sports bettor. Once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. There's currently free content there as well. Not free picks, free content. And the free content is this. You can see my current record right now, right on the homepage. Link for that site is in the description section below. All right, guys, let's go ahead and slide back into some more lines of personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Dodgers taking on the Padres, 3:40 Eastern first pitch in San Diego. Like I said earlier, guys, a bunch of games off the board here today. We only have a handful of games that actually have lines. So once again, this game currently off the board. Now, it is a 3:40 Eastern first pitch in San Diego. So early on the West Coast there, that's about a noontime game there. Now, Clayton Kershaw is projected to get the start for the Dodgers. Joey Lucchesi for the Padres. Lucchesi comes into this game with a 4.28 ERA. Meanwhile, Kershaw on the other side, he's been very good this year. 15-5 on the year, 3.15 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. He's also struck out 181 batters. Now, San Diego's lost 11 out of their last 13, really crawling past the finish line. I know a lot of these guys are looking forward to their vacation, which starts on Monday. But anyway, San Diego 0-2 in their last two Lucchesi starts. They're also 4-8 in their last dozen Lucchesi starts as well. Now, the Dodgers have the best record in the National League. They've also won 7 out of their last 10, so they're staying sharp. They're not putting it in cruise control. They're first in runs allowed, first in hits allowed. I'm going to lean Dodgers minus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. Next game, Rockies, Giants, 3:45 San Francisco. The Giants are minus 120, total 8.5. Saw a 20-cent fade of San Francisco, movement downward on the total. Giants open $1.40, down to 120. Total open 9, down to 8.5. 52% are leaning Giants, 69% shaded toward the over. Right now, Colorado's plus $1.10 on the money line. The Giants are plus $1.70 on the run line. We have Kyle Freeland for the Rockies, Tyler Beede for the Giants. Beede has struck out 106 batters in 113 innings pitched. Kyle Freeland on the other side for Colorado really struggled this year. Definitely a different Kyle Freeland. Or maybe it's the same Kyle Freeland and he's just kind of showing his true abilities. But regardless, Freeland just 3-11 on the year, 6.84 ERA, 1.59 WHIP. The Giants are 2-1 in their last 3 ball games. They've also won 2 out of their last 3 games where Tyler Beede made the start. The Giants are 9th in walks allowed at home on average per game. Now Colorado on the other side, really just a down year for them. Contenders last year, but really bad this year. Last in the NL West. They posted just a .430 win percentage. They're also last in hits allowed. Now, total-wise, the Giants are 5-1 to the under in their last 6 in San Francisco. I'm going to lean Giants minus $1.20 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Phillies, Nats, 4:05 Washington. This game currently off the board. We have Jason Vargas for the Phils, Steven Strasburg for the Nats. Strasburg's 17-6 on the year, 3.37 ERA. Probably wouldn't look for him to go too deep into this game, but just want to keep him in that regular rotation. Not knock off the routine, but I would not expect him to go 110 innings. Hell, when it comes to Steven Strasburg, he might not even go 110 innings in the postseason. That's just kind of the deal with him a few years back. The Nats were in a playoff run, and they shut him down for the season because he hit his pitch count. But anyway, Vargas on the other side for the Phils, just 7-8 on the year, 4.40 ERA. I think his fastball is topping out at 79, probably 79 miles an hour right now on the year. But anyway, Philadelphia, they lost their last 5 straight. They might not even have a winning record by the end of the year, which is amazing because they were right in the thick of things when it comes to the wild card just 2 weeks ago. So really just a blunder on their part, just a catastrophe. I think Kapler might be out. But anyway, Philadelphia, 22nd in hits, 20th in hits allowed. Winners in just 36 out of 80 when traveling this year. The Nats on the other side, they clinched. They are in the playoffs right now. They're just playing for, home field advantage during one of those series. Washington's 6th in scoring, 5th in home hits. I'm going to lean Nationals, winning that one outright for some money line cash. All right, next game. Cubs, Pirates, 7:05 Pittsburgh. This game off the board. Now, I know my man Jason Peters in the comments section, he already declared he is fading Chicago through the rest of the season. He's made thousands of dollars fading the Cubs in the past 6 days. So anyway, let's see if Jason Peters continues to kill it on that. And I expect you, Jason, to give us a full report each and every day in the comments section. I love that stuff you've been posting, man. It's great. It's great stuff out of you. And I wish you well. Jason Peters, starting left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. He had a little bit of, I think it was strep throat last week. He was in and out of the game against the Lions. So, Jason, we wish you health and best of luck in the game tonight. Anyway, we have Jose Quintana for the Cubs, Joe Musgrove for the Pirates. Musgrove is 10-12 on the year, 4.49 ERA. Meanwhile, Quintana on the other side, 13-8 on the year. He's also 4-0 against Pittsburgh this year with a 3.38 ERA. Now, the Pirates have won just 33 out of 77 at PNC Park this year. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 8 ball games when Joe Musgrove made the start. Now, the Cubbies on the other side, winners in 9 out of their last dozen, taking on Pittsburgh. They're also 7th in runs allowed. I can't imagine the Cubbies are going to drop this one. I'm going to lean Chicago, winning this game outright for some money line cash. No offense, Jason Peters. That's just where I'm leaning tonight. All right, next game. Marlins, Mets, 7-10, Flushing, Queens. This game, of course, off the board. We have Jordan Yamamoto for the Marlins, Zach Wheeler for the Mets. Wheeler's 11-7 with a 3.99 ERA, 185 strikeouts. Yamamoto on the other side for Miami, just 4-5 on the year, 4.83 ERA. The Mets are 2-0 in their last couple of games, 6-2 in their last 8. The Mets also ranked 9th in hits on average per game, 4th in striking batters out at home. Now the Marlins on the other side, they are the worst team in the National League. They're 29th in scoring on average per game, which is second to last in Major League Baseball. And they are last in walks allowed, dead last in walks allowed on average per game. So the Mets will be favored. I'm going to lean New York Mets from Flushing, Queens, -1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. All right, next matchup, Indians, White Sox, 8-10, guaranteed rate field in Chicago. The Indians are 210, total at 9, 10-cent move toward Cleveland, moving downward on the total. The Indians open 200, up to -210, total open 9.5, down to 9 flat. 72% of the consensus leaning toward the Indians, 62% leaning toward the over. Right now, the White Sox are +180 on the money line. Cleveland -130, laying the 1.5. We have Aaron Savale for the Indians, Dylan Cease for the White Sox. Now, if you like the White Sox in this spot right now, you're crazy. You're insane. But I think I'm insane with you because the White Sox are 3-1 in their last 4 Dylan Cease starts. They're also 4-2 in their last 6 at home taking on Cleveland. So doing a good job against the Indians at guaranteed rate field. One more thing to add about Chicago. They rank 8th in hits on average per game. Now, the Indians on the other side, losers in 2 out of their last 4. They're 19th in hits on average per game, and they are 1.5 games back for that second wild card spot. Somebody has to collapse in the home stretch here, and I think it's going to be the Indians, despite just an incredible pitching staff. Now, total-wise, the Indians are 5-1 of the over in their last 6, taking on the White Sox. I'm going to lean Chicago, +1.5. And the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Astros, Angels, 10:07 Los Angeles. Game currently off the board. We have Wade Miley for the Astros, Jaime Barria for the Angels. Barria is just 4-10 with a 6.43 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. Meanwhile, Wade Miley on the other side for Houston, 14-6 on the year, 3.91 ERA. He's also struck out 138 batters. Check this out. The Angels have lost their last 8 straight games when Jaime Barria made the start. They're 0-8 in their last 8 when Barria makes the first pitch. They're also 4-11 in their last 15 ball games. They rank 24th in runs allowed on average per game. Now, the Astros on the other side, they are third in scoring, first in offensive walks. They have the best record in Major League Baseball. I'm going to lean Astros -1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Athletics Mariners 10-10 Seattle. The A's are -250, total at 9. Saw a 15-cent move toward Oakland. No real surprises there. The A's open 235 up to 250, totals at 9. 70% leaning toward the A's, 67% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Mariners are plus 215 on the money line. The A's -150, laying the 1.5. We have Sean Manaea for the A's, Felix Hernandez for the Mariners. Hernandez comes into this game with a 1-7 record and a 6.51 ERA. Manaea on the other side for Oakland, 3-0 on the year, 1.14 ERA, 0.80 WHIP. Oakland is half a game ahead of Tampa Bay for that first wild card spot in the American League. They're 95-63 overall for the year, winners in 7 out of their last 10. Now the A's are 7th in scoring on average per game, 6th in runs allowed. Meanwhile, when it comes to the Mariners on the other side, losers in 4 out of their last 5. They've also won just 33 out of 77 at home. They are 29th in offensive strikeouts, which is second to last in Major League Baseball. And when it comes to the total, Seattle's 47-30 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Oakland -1.5. And the over 9 runs in that game. And we're going to slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/Brock Page. I got Oakland -1.5 over 9 runs. Houston -1.5. White Sox +1.5 over 9 runs. Mets -1.5. Chicago money line. Washington money line. Giants -120 under 8.5. Dodgers -1.5. Texas money line. Minnesota -1.5 over 9.5. Cincinnati +1.5 under 9 runs. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/rockpage, where we are 7-1-1 in our last 9 daily double picks. We're also 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays on that website. There's a bunch of different memberships and packages you can subscribe to, and they begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well, including my current record. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. But most importantly, I got to thank you for tuning in and watching me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.